Reconciling the bank account is one of the fundamental steps of accurate and up-to-date financial data. And Xero makes it so easy, right? But here's the thing. Xero are excellent at marketing the ease of their product. And what you don't realize is that sometimes on the face of it, things seem okay, but beneath the surface, there are some issues. So when we're talking about reconciling your bank accounts in Xero, we don't just mean match the bank feed to the transactions, because as nice as it feels to get that big green tick, it's only the first step. So once you've got that, you need to run the bank reconciliation report. That's the actual reconciliation process, which is verifying that what Xero says in the bank is actually in the bank. So let me show you how to do that in the Xero demo file. Okay, so firstly, let's look at the bank account or Reconcile, right? So now let's look at the reconciliation report. To find that, we're going to go through the three dots and click on Reconciliation Report. And you can also find this through the Reports menu. Now we're going to filter the dates to the last month and ensure that we're looking at the correct bank account and update. This shows you things that have come through the bank feed that may not have been reconciled, but we're all good there. It also shows you things that have been entered as paid or received that haven't been reconciled against bank entries. Now, some of these could relate to items that are in the bank feed that aren't yet reconciled, but some of them could be duplicates. And this often happens when a received money transaction is reconciled against a bank feed instead of reconciling it against the sales invoice. And then the sales invoice is receipted, but stays unreconciled because the bank line has already been reconciled incorrectly. This means an incorrect bank account balance and duplicated revenue. And that's the case here. The next thing to look at on the bank reconciliation report is the actual bank account balance and match that to the bank statement and make sure that there's no out of balance amount. Now this should be zero, this figure here. If it's not, there's an issue with your bank feed data. Now, sometimes the bank feed can be incorrect, and there are a few reasons why this could happen. There's a disruption to the feed, there's a gap between manual data and the bank feed starting, or there's been some manual manipulation. If there's an out of balance on your bank reconciliation or the bank balance in the bank rec doesn't match the statement, it's definitely something that you should leave to your bookkeeper to fix. Sometimes there's a bit of unraveling and investigating that needs to happen to know how it went out of balance. And then it can often be a little bit of a tricky process to fix it. So not something we'd recommend if you haven't had experience in this area before. Let me tell you a story about a client where there were 2 credit cards on one account and only one card had transactions feeding through to Xero. So all of the transactions on the other card were not being captured. So on the face of it, this account seemed to reconcile, but by only reconciling what came through the bank feed and not checking the reconciliation report, they missed tens of thousands of dollars of expenses. This meant incorrect BAS and incorrect tax returns, and the business owner was relying on inaccurate data to make decisions about the direction of her business. When we came on board, we immediately identified that there was an issue just by running the bank reconciliation report. But it wasn't until we did a little bit of digging that we found what the issue actually was and how we could fix it.